All right, today we're going to talk about markup and markdown problems, still using a proportion. So take a second to get your learning target written down. Remember, at any point in this video, go ahead and pause it if you need more time to write something or think about something. This does tend to be a harder lesson for most students, so try and pause it whenever you need it paused. For now, get the learning target written down, which is I can find the new price of an item after markup and markdown. So we're going to talk about today when there's items at the store, when they are 20% off or 30% off, how we calculate that, or if you mark something up, if it's more money. And so markdown is something you guys are used to seeing if you go to the store and there's a big sign that says 30% off. But a markup is going to be when you sell something for more. So maybe I bought a pair of shoes for 20 bucks and I'm going to go sell them online and I want to make more than 20 bucks. So I'm going to sell it for 140%, or I'm going to mark it up 40%. So that's what we're going to practice with today. We're going to go over the new proportion that you're going to use. So write this down here and then go ahead and pause it so that you can add it to your cheat sheet. On top here is going to be the after, which we've had after up here before, the after price. And the bottom is going to be the before price. So before the coupon, before the markup, anything like that. Always 100 on the bottom. And then this is going to stay percent, but it's going to be percent paid. And this is always what people struggle with, is the percent paid part. And what that means is when you go to the store, you pay for 100% of your item, right? If you want to buy a t-shirt for 25 bucks, you're going to pay for that whole t-shirt, 25 bucks. Unless you have a coupon that's maybe 20% off, now you only have to pay for 80% of that t-shirt. And so that's what we're going to practice solving today. So with this first one, let's get our line equals line set up. And it says Marty bought a cell phone case for $7.20. Then he sold it online for $11.25. How much did he mark up the case? So in this case, he had it before for $7.20. That was the before price. And then afterwards, he sold it for $11.25. The 100 goes here. You're going to cross multiply. So go ahead, type that into your calculator. Actually do it. 11.25 times 100 divided by 7.20. And you should get 156.25%. However, with this whole lesson, anytime we're talking about the money or percents, all we want to figure out is how far from 100 was it. So if we got 156.25, that means that he marked it up 56.25%. So that's what your actual answer is. 56.25%. Because that's how much off from 100 it was. Like I said, this one's always a little challenging, so we're going to go through the next couple. Hopefully it'll start to make more sense. For example 2, says that the percent markup on a $300 phone sold for $465. So before it was $300, and then they marked it up $465. Always 100 on the bottom. We're solving for the percent. So in your calculator, you're doing 465 times 100 divided by 300. And you get 155%. But just like what we talked about, that means they marked it up 55%. See where that came from? 55% markup. Example 3. The local furniture store pays $110 for a chest of drawers and sells it with a 40% markup. What's the selling price of the chest of drawers? So the before price was $110. Always 100 down here. And it was a 40% markup. So we're not going to put 40% here because it was a markup. We're going to put 140%. You already pay 100%. Now you're going to pay 40% more. So in your calculator, do 110 times 140 divided by 100. And you should get $154. All right, example 4 talks about Edward wants to buy a snowboard that is on sale for 30%. There's also sales tax for 7.5%, so that makes it more expensive. How much would he pay for the snowboard if it costs $180? So he wants to buy a snowboard if it's 30% off. So normally we pay 100% for items, but if it's 30% off, now we're going to be paying 70%. But we have tax, so plus that's 7.5. So 70 plus 7.5 is going to be 77.5 as our percent. We always put 100 on the bottom. And it says how much would he pay if the snowboard costs $180 before. So that's going to go on the bottom. So 180 times 77.5 divided by 100. And you should get $139.50. All right, flip it over. Now it's asking for the percent markdown for an $80 jacket that's on sale for $48. So the before price was $80, but now it's on sale for $48. 100 always goes here. And we do 48 times 100 divided by 80. And we get 60. So that means we paid 60%. But we're always doing how far from 100. How far is 60 from 100? It is 40. So this would be a 40% markdown. Example 6 says a bookstore buys a novel for $12 and marks it up 35%. So it bought it for $12 before it marked it up. So that goes on the bottom. And if we're marking it up, now I got to do 100 plus 35 because it's a markup. So I put 135% here. So you normally pay 100% for an item. Now you're going to pay 35% more. So 12 times 135 divided by 100. And you should get $16.20. So first it was $12, now it is $16.20. So we have 3 left. I would highly, highly suggest pausing the video, doing these 3 on your own, and then coming back and seeing if we get the same answers. If you're still really struggling, you can keep the video going and listening and watching me do it. But if you're wanting to try it on your own, I would suggest doing that. For example 6, Samantha wants to buy a pair of shoes that are originally $90. So before that, they were $90. They're on sale for 25% off. So if we normally pay 100% for an item, but now it's 25% off, now we're only going to pay 75% for that item. However, there is sales tax, which bumps it up. So now we got to add that 6%. So we get 81 here. 90 times 81 divided by 100 gives us $72.90. Example 6, a bike shop sells a mountain bike for $320, buys the mountain bike for $320, and then they sell it for $448. So the before price was $320, and then they sold it for $448. They want to know what the markup is. So when you do this, 448 times 100 divided by 320, you get 140. But remember, we're looking for how far from 100 are we? So you would have a 40% markup. And last one, a winter coat was originally $150, but now it's on sale for $105. What was the markdown? So I solve 105 times 100 divided by 150, and I get 70%, but we're looking how far is that from 100? So to get to 100, we would get 30%. Now you're going to go through and do your practice problems. There are 7 practice problems. They are very similar to these example problems. So if you go to your practice problems and want to find the problem that's similar to it, like this one said, find the sale price if it's 30% off. That is very similar to 30% off, like number 4 and number 6. So if you need help with number 1, look at number 4 and number 6. Number 2 talks about a markup. If you need help with that one, a good one to look up there is, let's see, where are we talking about? That would be a good one to look at example 3. So find the ones that are similar, go back, practice solving them, and make sure you ask for help if you're struggling.